We're, I think my price would probably be in tens of dollars for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth that much.
Well, first of all, if a chick, normally as a guy, if a girl just comes up to you and be like, hey, I'll have sex with you, you'll do it for free. So to imagine someone being like, here's $100 and now fuck me. It's like, ooh, I would have done this for free, and now I got 100 bones in my pocket.
And that made it illegal. Which,
Well, I wasn't even thinking of that. Yeah, I guess, prostitution is legal. I wasn't even thinking of that, yeah.
at that point, it's illegal.
But
Which is what you need to really get it up sometimes, you know?
That's what gets me going. We shouldn't be
Breaking
doing
the law.
this. Yeah, I'm so hard.
Oh, God. No,
But that is weird because it's like women are used to guys just wanting to have sex with them, whereas guys aren't used to women wanting to have sex with them. So for someone that in that position, for someone to be like, hey, here's 100 bones on top of it, you know what that would start to do to your ego? It's like the first chick that's like, hey, I'm going to fuck you and here's $100. And then the next chick you have sex with, maybe she's not paying for it. And you're like, hey, where's my $100?
Yeah.
I did it real good.
Well, that's the crazy thing, like the ego thing, right? Like, it's not, I'm going to have sex with you, here's $100. It's, could I have sex with you for $100? Question mark. Versus like, I'm going to have sex with you, here's $100.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah.
but women have that. That's where they're at. And
because they don't
there.
have 1,500 testosterone.
Oh, no, I mean, but that's the thing, right? Like, there's a difference for sure.
Yeah.
In the space they hold in the world as far as like value, and that interaction is much higher than we are. Much higher.
Yeah. We're bottom of the totem pole.
And do you think that comes from an evolutionary point of like, it would take one man and 100 women in 6 months, 100 women would be pregnant?
Yeah.
Versus one woman and 100 men in 6 months.
Yeah. A
There'd
woman
be like
needs to
two
be.
guys left and
Yeah.
poor lady.
I think from an evolutionary process, like women need to be more selective over their mates. Because there's guys everywhere that can get you pregnant and a bunch of chicks pregnant. So you need to look at who your mate is and selectively, determine if it's a good match. But I think that's kind of evolved into like more not roles or hierarchy, but like also human interaction and how men and women kind of interact. I mean, you look at it in the wild, like elk season, elks are kind of fucking left and right. They don't care about social. They want dominance and stuff like that.
Genes above all else.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's weird to think of a male prostitute, isn't it? Doesn't it seem to screw up something in the fucking Matrix? Like, that's not supposed to exist in the cards, but it does, like a unicorn. Like, I get guys paying for women, but a woman that's like...
I get guys paying for women for sure.
Yeah.
I get that some guys would want to pay for a guy, Tobin.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, dude.
But as far as like, the other way around, it's kind of wild to me.
Doesn't it seem off?
That's a fetish thing because it's so easy. Why would
that's
you pay
what
for
I
it
mean?
when you
It's
could just go out
easy.
to the
anywhere, Yeah.
Unless you're completely and totally busted, or your self-esteem is so low, that you feel like that's what needs to happen. It's like, I can't. That's too low. I
need to pay for this. Yeah.
Anyway,
how did we get started on that? Did we ask if we were going to be Oh yeah, how much would you charge for your penis?
Dude, it's
Hey Jordan, how much for that dick?
Man.
Yeah.
I'd need to think about it.
Like
I said, it would need to be at least above the price of whatever penicillin I'd need to take.
Oh, how about this? How much would your dick cost for a man?
Oh,
and how much would it cost for a woman?
Well, we're talking theoretically. Yeah. Theoretically,
one's probably going to be free, where the other might cost a little.
A little, dude. I don't even know that there's. I don't even know that there's a price.
Oh man,
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, hundreds of dollars. I'll tell you that. Oh yeah. That's just not gonna happen. It's just not. Like, I would have to be so desperate.
How about, what if God came to you and he goes, "Hey Jordan, you have to suck this guy's dick, and if you do, you will end all world suffering. War is over. People will get along. We will become a better society. Everyone will be more fulfilled. Famine stop. Everything gets better in a little bit. But people have purpose, and they're great. Like, there's no downside. It's God. He's like, I got this new update on life.
Okay.
God 2.0.
Yeah.
You suck this guy's dick?
No, I do it.
Words.
I go buy a fucking helmet.
Dude,
I go buy a helmet
right there. A helmet.
Yeah, a war helmet. Because shit's gonna get crazy.
You're gonna kill God.
Yeah. I'm. Yeah. Well, I mean, what? Same question to you. What are you doing? You taking one in the mouth?
Oh yeah.
Breaking down the jaw
to make the world perfect?
Yeah.
With God talking to me?
Uh-huh.
Jesus died on the cross. Mm-hmm. I'm going to die on the cock.
Just, good Lord. I can't believe you just said that.
You got to take it for the team. If it's what God's asking for, I'm not going to say I'm going to enjoy it. But that's an ultimate sacrifice, something I don't want to do. What is death?
This is why I'm scared to do mushrooms, dude. Dude, I don't need the thought of God coming to me. Can you imagine that? You wake up the next day, you realize, like, oh no, the world's gonna be a great place, and then, like, you just wake up behind a dumpster, just like jaw hurts.
You did it, my son.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Just sucked off some hobo because you thought it was Jesus.
I'm never doing meth again.
Yeah, good Lord. Yeah, dude, I can't imagine the thought of that. That's
sounds horrible.
It's too much for me. Next topic.
Favorite EDC knife.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I just
you gotta cleanse your palate. Hang on. All right.
Yeah,
breathe
I gotta
a couple times.
Take a drink of a beer and quit thinking about
sucking dudes
off for world peace. If that was a thing,
dude, what if when he came, a bunch of doves blew out from behind your back? Yeah, world peace. You know,
just a fucking beam of light comes down,
olive branch grows
all
out
over your
ass.
face.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
Bonus cast.
Yeah,
these are the best conversations.
Well, yeah, would you rather kind of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on just a sec. I got it. And we're back.
That felt good.
Yeah, dude. Well, what do you got going on for hunting? After this, let's just changing the subject. You going and you got any plans for what's that turkey thing all about?
next year?
No, I thought there was some turkey shoot.
Oh, that's...
Did that pass already?
Yeah.
And late season turkey stuff?
No. That was at the Sportsman's Club. What is it? Trap and Skeet? It's called the turkey shoot. The winner wins a turkey, and then every other place below that is cash prize and bacon. But it happened last weekend.
Ah, shit. Yeah, that would have been fun. I didn't get a chance to look at the thing. The wrestling season started, so that's kind of been primary focus.
It's all good. Winter comes, and you have to have alternative things to do. Because it's dark most of the fucking day. So it's like...
I feel like all the good things during the year happen during winter, though. My lull is during the summer when everybody else is doing stuff. I'm like, yeah, I should go camping. I should do this. But it's
just napping.
Yeah, it's like hunting season's coming up, or, wrestling season's this one, But from September on, shit gets a little wild.
But I feel like there's no time.
October, September.
Like, during the time of year where there's the most light, I get the most done. But then the winter comes, and I understand the bear and the hibernation. And it's like you focus on the core. You keep the bare essentials of food, of sleep, of warmth. You kind of just hold it all in and kind of refine and think about the summer. And then when the spring happens and things thaw out, so does your body and so does the time, and it gets more and more light out. So you're like, let's rock and roll. Let's make things happen. That's why the summer berries grow. And it's like, let's make it happen. Berries don't grow in the fall or the winter.
I feel like time is passing so fucking quick.
It's because you're getting older, Jordan.
I mean, very well could be, but I'm just talking like as far as the things that I want to do are, it's hard to do. I think there's a couple things, right? I think time's passing quick, and I'm unfortunately, I'll say it, addicted to my phone. And that is sucking my life force.
Get off the phone.
You know what I mean? It truly is. Like, I'll find myself on it, and it's like, holy shit, like, I've just been staring at this thing. Like, I didn't do anything. And I got all these different little things, and, like, I will literally watch a video on the things that I need to be doing instead of doing the things I need to do, right? Like, and my time would be better spent whittling a piece of fucking wood. You know what I mean? Realistically, building a skill that's tangible.
Yeah,
it's like we said.
So the phone is fine sometimes. Like when you want, I mean, why not listen to music or listen to a podcast as you're whittling that wood?
Well, yeah, we know
constructive.
When you're
scrolling and looking,
that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the absolute energy, and by that I mean my attention is on my phone versus using it as a tool in the background. It's not a map I'm looking at to navigate my way to an adventure. Yeah. It is something I'm looking at Instagram, or I'm looking at YouTube and I'm watching a video on some dude whittling a trap versus going out into my yard and building the trap myself. You know what I mean? Like, there's little things that, like, I should just go out and find out for myself through trial and error versus, like, oh, I'm just going to watch videos on this. Or this is the weirdest goddamn thing. I will buy, this is a consumer problem. I'll watch a review on an item because I want to make a good purchase, and I enjoy gear, so I just like keeping up on the latest and greatest of gear. But I'll buy said gear, I won't go out and use it, and I'll watch a fucking other review on the gear that I already own. So it's like, why the fuck am I doing this? I'm like searching for validation through means of which to get dopamine.
Yeah.
Where I already have the thing to go out and like do the activity I should be going and doing. But the day is already done. So for me to go out and actually go do this thing is going to be like, okay, I'm home. I could just go out and do the thing I need to do, but I need to go out into the woods to do this activity. So I got to drive. I got to get home. Then I got to drive out to the woods. Then I got to do the activity. And then I got to drive home. And then I got to get up in the morning and be functional. And it's not there. I'm just not there. I am so fucking wiped out. It's like, it's way easier for me to just get home, look at this fucking video, and pass the fuck out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it just, and I'm not doing what I need to do. Not living the life I want to live.
I think that's where you get weekend warriors. You know, people that are like, I'm going to crush it through the week. Like, do nothing but work and go to sleep, you know, and make sure everything's taken care of. And then when the weekend comes, Friday, I'm going to drive up to wherever my woods are and start crushing it. You know, people that go from Friday at 5 till Sunday
But there's like a
night.
negative connotation to weekend warrior.
No.
I've always thought
because that's all the time you can get sometimes.
Well, that's what I'm learning.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm learning is like time is so valuable and so limited. Yeah. But that's also part of the thing is like, then I find myself looking at useless bullshit on Instagram. Scrolling, and all of a sudden it's like, I shouldn't know as much as I know about ways to work out when I don't work out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I don't need to know how to work out to get the perfect butt, but I do because the algorithm has my. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
The amount of thrusters I see a day is ridiculous.
I don't even watch workout videos.
I don't mean to. It's just there. You know?
Yeah,
it's like it's part of the fucking thing. It's like, you know, your whatever positive motivation talk and then
tight spandex
yeah. Working out and like, you know, hip thrusters. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You know,
world peace.
People selling supplements and it's like, God damn it. Like
the internet's weird, man.
Well, it's just so it feels like a trap lately because it's like I'm wasting years on this. This is really what it comes down to. Like it's years.
Yeah.
When you really start thinking about it, it's like, oh, like this year's damn near over. This isn't new technology. I've been doing this, right? And it's like I'd be better off. And that's kind of the nice thing about the gym because you go to the gym, you can unplug. But if you go on a hunt, you can somewhat unplug. You know, you get to a place where you're out of service, you can unplug a little bit. Obviously, you unplug quite a bit. But, like, to have something in front of you that takes full concentration and truly, like, dedicate time to whatever craft you're needing to do, like I said, whittling wood. To build a trap or whittling a fucking whistle or building a knife or building a handle for a knife. The amount of hours you could spend building a handle for a fucking knife is ridiculous. And to do that without a fucking screen in front of your face is something that I really need. Because I find myself throughout the day looking at my phone and it's scary. It truly does feel like an addiction. Where like I can't get through the day without all of a sudden grabbing my phone and like starting to scroll through it. Yeah. And I find myself like I don't have Facebook. I haven't had Facebook for like 4 years now, something like that. But I'll type in, I'll start to fucking FAC and it's like, what the fuck am I doing? As I'm just getting online and not thinking and my fingers start moving and all of a sudden I start typing in Facebook. The amount of muscle memory I have, even though I haven't had that for like 4 years, is fucking crazy. Because I just instantly go to it. Same with Instagram. It's the same thing. You start just instantly typing it in. It's like, this is weird. Or scrolling through your phone to get to it. When it's like, I was literally not doing anything to deal with Facebook or Instagram. And it just, my fingers scrolled to it.
Yeah.
Mindlessly. It happens all the fucking time to me. I don't know if it happens to you, but.
I mean, I have a routine. I get up in the morning and I make coffee, or I have the coffee pot set on the alarm, and I wake up, get a cup of coffee, read the news, check emails, check Instagram, just kind of get the, take a half hour to wake up and just take it all in, get your mind kind of working, read articles, read stuff, see what people are doing. And then it's like, all right, get up, shower, go to work.
Maybe that's one thing I need to do, like read articles to combat, to combat Instagram. Because literally all I use my phone for, Instagram. As far as like internet use. I'll look up gun stuff and that's pretty much it.
I read the news every day.
Yeah, I don't do any of that. I need to start doing that or like technology stuff. Like,
I mean, even sometimes just scrolling headlines to see what are top stories or what bites or things that you just find interesting. Or
do you remember that website called Gizmodo? Mm-hmm. Maybe, is there like an app for that or like a?
Yeah, there's all kinds. They probably have an Instagram, dude.
Yeah, but I need to get off Instagram, bro. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I need to find, it's like I'm searching for something to deal with. It's the Band-Aid. I'm trying to cover up this fucking massive cut I have.
The Instagram. The Facebook. I mean, it is nice. I mean, there is a reason gossip and this stuff is important. Like, all we talk about is, like, getting in touch with your roots. But if you look at, like, original hunter-gatherer tribes, the purpose of gossip was to listen about what is happening around you, the people around you. Who can you trust? Who can't you trust? What happened? What is big news? Should we pack up and leave? Should we stay? Should we plant more seeds? That is the purpose of gossip, is to learn around the environment around you because you're understanding what's happening. So in a certain way, like, some of the social media does make sense. You want to get like a little bit of a understanding of what's happening in your circle, but to have it dictate or fully take over your life, it can't be about it. And especially when it gets very appealing due to setting things off. Like, you look at like the porn effect, where it's like, big asses, Karen's drama, food, survival, love stories, connections. I mean, it hits on all these things that can immerse you in it. But
you get through the stories.
The point of, I get to the credits. That's where I come. But what the point of that stuff is to bring you connection. The biggest thing I see is like when friends post things, from the gym or things like that, or in the circle. It's like you're seeing an update of what that person's into right now, or better yet, a picture they've taken. So just that same way, it's like I should use Instagram to really like kind of
connect with the people around you.
The people around me, and like the people I think that I should look up to, not just look up to, but, what I think are kind of decent things. What are they putting out for a second? What are the people around me putting out? And what's the news putting out?
Do you ever feel happening? Like it's in fucking echo chamber, though? It's like, it's the same shit over and over. That's the point, is to have different perspectives, though. But it's not a different perspective. Like, it's this, that I guess that's what I'm saying, is like my shit is not different perspectives. It's the same shit. Over and over and over and over and over. Every day. The same shit. Different person, but it's the same thing over and over and over and over. But that's where it's good to challenge your ideas and your thoughts. Like, what do you think? Why do you think it? And what do the people around you think? Is there a different way to think about that? Is that a great way to think? Like, echo chambers do exist. We all live in, everyone lives in their own biases.
That's saying that I'm a good American. Well, why? Because I say so. Why? Because of your bias. You think you're great because of what you think America is great for. But there's all kinds of reasons. An echo chamber is always going to exist, but just I think the morality of what your life is and can be, you look at that and ask the questions around why is this life and in what morals?
Well, so, but that's part of the thing is like, with the moral thing, do you think that you can get morals from Instagram? The message that gets sent
it's too short. Morals take years. Morals take decades. Morals take not a sentence. Morals take books. That's why a book is important, because to get something from a sentence, semi-impactful. To get something from a paragraph, maybe more impactful. To get something from a chapter, even better. To get something from a book, even better. To get something from a series, even better. If you're conveying ideas and thoughts, morals have to be on the top of the hierarchy, and it has to take time. It has to take divulging and understanding.
But I mean, ultimately, like maybe my fucking complete bias, but the morals I was raised with are so ingrained in me. I don't think there's any book that I could ever read that would change the way I was raised to like see the world. I might be able to like get maybe a slight different perspective, but I like the way I see the world. I see the world in this full of possibility. I see the world with the people being everything. People are everything to me. I think people are amazing.
But you say that as the person that's seeing the world as you do right now. You have to think of someone that's about to strap a suicide vest on their body and blow it up. They're not thinking as they join this cult, I'm going to go explode myself. They want to say, hey, I see the world as this. And someone goes, hey, you know what? I see it that way too. But if you can just shift 2 degrees this way, right? And then you live 2 degrees that way. And now you're going that way. I'm going this way. And you go 2 degrees. And then they keep talking about morals. And it goes 2 degrees that way. And 2 degrees that way. And over time, it radicalizes and it shifts.
But where
morals can be changed. Morals can be manipulated. Right? So, like you say, you grow up with your good morals. Well, yeah, those are the morals that you see as good.
I think they're good in general.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I cannot imagine a world in which you don't want people to be okay. I can't imagine a world where somebody would be raised with morals that say hurt people.
I mean,
Look at
Israel, Palestine. Look at all these wars.
Well,
when you get children indoctrinated, look at like Hotel Rwanda, Hutsis and Tutsis.
Do you think that's a moral or that's an idea? Is there a difference?
Yeah, but they're setting morality in that.
Their morality is their religion.
Yeah,
and their religion is everything to them.
But those are what your morals are.
Like the Ten Commandments. That's what I was going to ask. Is there a difference between that morality and
it's what you're raised around
ideals?
I mean, it's not like because you said God said this, it makes it any different as if Bob said this and you live it.
Because I get if somebody was like, hey, you know what, this is the right thing, and these people are savages, we need to kill them. I get it.
Yeah,
but why? Are they hurting you? You go, no, but my religion says I need to fucking wipe these people out. My morals say, just let them do their thing. As long as they're not hurting you, let them do their thing.
But once they start hurting you,
kill them.
Because their
kill them all.
Says, yeah, what's that from? Isn't that Starship Troopers? Kill them all.
Kill
you
them
apes
all.
want to live forever. Kill them all.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I think that the moral, trying to figure out.
But morals are different from everywhere. Like, look at China and parts of Korea.
Yeah, but everybody wants good for their offspring.
Yeah, but
people get caught up in the shit outside of that, right? You can look at something and then you go, oh, they're eating dog. And you go, you're getting offended. Stop, because that truly doesn't affect you.
Yeah, but our morals...
It does not affect you.
But you got to think in a lot of Western society, our morals is that dog is man's best friend.
No.
And so
that's what I am saying is your immediate rules you live by. You are born. You want your mom and dad to be happy. And they want you to be happy and healthy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You want your family to be okay and safe and fed. So you want good things for those people. You want good things for your neighbor. You want good things for the people around you, because if they're good, you're good. There's safety there. If everybody's okay. You don't want to do anything to hurt other people because there's safety there, right? But when you start going, well, my neighbor 3 doors down eats a dog. Let him. Who cares?
Yeah, that's true.
What is it affecting you? It's not affecting you. It's fucked up. Yeah, sure. But at that point, you're offended. You're not fucking, you're not at risk. Now, if your neighbor is molesting a fucking kid, there's a difference there.
What if
now you got to go fucking kill that guy.
Well, that's
because it's
what if your
affecting the safety of the people around you.
What if your neighbor's torturing a dog and then eating it?
If your neighbor's torturing a dog and eating it, you go, well, that's fucked up. Maybe I should go and say something. I see what you're saying. That's a good fucking point. It makes me hurt more, but ultimately it's not hurting me. It makes my heart hurt.
But it gives you, like, what is morals?
It makes the skin on the back of my neck, or I get goosebumps thinking about that, going, oh, that's fucked up. What I would want to do is go over there and fucking say, hey, motherfucker.
But what are morals then? Is it understanding that there's sometimes better ways to live life? There has to be certain things that are more highly elevated.
But at what point is it your duty to say something to them, or like intervene? At what point are you saying, okay, you know what, that's too much, I'm going to intervene?
When pain and suffering can be stopped sometimes, but sometimes pain and suffering has to happen. But when pain and suffering at a very exaggerated level happens,
when pain and suffering happens, I think when pain and suffering happens for the entertainment of another, that might be the fucking spot where you have to fucking...
Are we writing rules here? This sounds like a doctrine. That's pretty good.
I mean, that's
pretty fucking good, Jordan.
Yeah. But if it's pain and suffering because you have to endure certain things to grow as a human, right? But we're not talking... Yeah. I don't know.
Nailed it.
Yeah. I mean, at some point you have to... You have to have... At what point can we strip away my... What's the word I'm looking for?
Pants.
Yeah, well, there's zip away. I wish I got ripaways.
Dude, I couldn't tell at first when you knocked on the door. I couldn't tell that was a top and a bottom.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was a solid onesie. That's why it struck me for so long. I'm like, do you have a sleeping bag onesie? That's why I'm
wearing my down outfit, my glassing gear right now. It was cold, and I was getting ready to walk out the door, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wear my glassing gear over there for a joke, and here I am. But yeah, no, these things are fucking sweet. I like them.
You look like a brown marshmallow.
Yeah, I'm in like
you're all good though, dude.
Yeah. This is Kodiak brown fucking. I look like a black Michelin man.
You do, that's it. Dude, you look like the Michelin man if he was chocolate face. Oh my god.
Morals versus
speaking into a microphone, don't do it.
Yeah, what's the I guess when you don't like something versus how it truly affects you. That's kind of the problem. Is people are getting too worked up over shit that like truly doesn't affect them, and it has nothing to do with the moral compass. It's like, oh, I just don't like you doing that. And it's like, why? Because it makes me feel a certain way. It's like, well, is it hurting you? No, but I just don't like it. It's people are offended, as opposed to like, is it hurting you? Well, no, but somebody has suffered because of that joke. What's that one guy's name? That good-looking comedian kid who just blew up over the last year.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, that kid's getting fucking a bunch of shit because of his Netflix special. Because he said there was a joke about him saying like
Matt Rife.
Yeah, Rife. What was the joke? It was like basically like a waitress came up, she had a black eye, and his friend was like, oh, shouldn't she be in the kitchen? And he was like, well, maybe she wouldn't have a black eye if she knew how to cook or something like that, or, you know, to that degree. And people fucking lost their goddamn minds over it. And then he was saying all this shit and saying like, well, it's really for guys, I don't pander to women and this and that, which obviously he does.
I got a better one.
That guy's a model.
What do you tell a woman with two black eyes?
What?
Nothing, because you already told her twice.
Oh, my God. We're canceled. But, I mean, so you know what his response was to that whole thing?
What?
Which is one of the best responses ever. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. Here's a link to my apology website. And you click on the link, and it's a bunch of special ed helmets.
A bunch of softies.
Yeah. A bunch of fucking helmets for... That's too funny. It's like, you son of a bitch. But, I mean, people get offended over that shit, and it's like, it didn't affect you. It truly didn't affect you. And you're allowing somebody to say something that's gonna... like, stop. Just fucking stop.
Yeah.
Allow people to say what they're going to say and let your morals fucking guide how you consume the stuff. But people are like, I have to consume it. I have to, like, now I have to say something, and I have to be a voice against this person because I have to be involved in this. I have to wrap up my identity in this, in protecting this thing. And it's like, shut the fuck up. You didn't like it? Well, don't fucking listen to him.
Yeah.
And shut the fuck up. That's it. Move on. There's so much stuff in the world. Why are you consumed in this? And that's part of the thing. It's like, move on to the next thing. You didn't like it. It's not for you. There you go. Walk away. It's not for you. Somebody enjoys it. So I'm not saying walk away from the dog that's being tortured because that's just not for you. But, you know, at some point you got to.
Well, what is the line is the question. Where is offensiveness and
suffering? It's not
suffer. Yeah. Because suffering happens in each, but what is the line that happens? I think you said it earlier. I forget what your quote was, but it was very accurate in that sometimes what you can take as a thing, like I feel like I'm being judged, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that, but the difference between feeling something and actively being persecuted are different. Maybe where you're being persecuted in a way that causes physical harm, true emotional harm. I mean, you could be psychologically fucking someone over. Like, as an abusive step parent or abusive parent or abusive anyone, you know, sometimes maybe
but that is causing harm.
Yeah. So how is harm? But I mean, harm can be done in a little bit. You can get a little bit of harm. Sometimes someone says something to you in the street and it kind of fucks with you for the day. That's harming you just a little bit. Mm-hmm. But at what point does someone intervene? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I think that goes back to morals, and like everybody's morals the same shit. Everybody in the world has the same morals. That is period. At the core level, you want you and your family to be safe and happy. Period. Yeah. That's it. After that, you want them to be healthy, and then once you start going past that, that's when things start getting fucking bad.
Yeah.
It's like, worry about you and your family. After that, maybe there's issues.
Sure.
But so many people launch way past their family. They could give fuck my dad. He doesn't think the same way I think. Fuck that guy. Like, whoa, maybe you should patch that up with your dad and heal yourself there before you start venturing off into the world and causing chaos everywhere else. Maybe you should fix your immediate family and what's at home first.
Yeah.
And then nobody would have to deal with your bullshit. You know what I mean? But people are so quick to like, just fuck the family unit. I'm out and I'm going to go find my fucking people. And if anyone who else doesn't agree with me, then I'm just going to blog about them. I'm just going to try and fucking make them hurt.
Thrash them online. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We live in this weird time where it's like, hey man, a Karen's a bad thing. Like, you don't want to talk about a Karen or someone that's like being overly confrontational and in someone's shit and just trying to be a fucking pest, you know? But at the same time, the world seems so crazy. And what is the purpose of the news is to report on stuff. Who is being the pest in the world at the current time? And it's like, so not only is culture like into the Karen, but the news has to be about the Karen and reporting on this shit. And sometimes it feels like it blurs because of the way culture is and the way you think you should act, or the way that, not even the way that you should act, but just the feeling, the momentum of like picking on people or deciding what is right or wrong. It kind of distorts or blurs the line. And such a touchy subject is like, when is an appropriate time to cross over and say something when people are being out of control, or when someone's going against your moral belief? What is just offending you and what is blatantly crossing a line? You know, where do you step in? And it's like the fucking news and the media doesn't help set a clear precedence on that.
Well, they create a frenzy.
That's what I mean.
And the more of a frenzy there is, the harder it is to see what's really happening.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like what ends up like. Imagine people are standing up on their soapbox. Like imagine somebody's up on a soapbox on a street corner, and they're preaching. Okay, cool. That guy's doing his thing. Great. People are walking by. For the most part, some people listen to it. Some people ignore it. Some people avoid it. They put their head down. They're just like, it's the same motherfucker passing out little Bibles or flyers or whatever. And he goes about his day, and he feels like he is doing what is morally right for him to pass out the word of God. And now you have somebody else who is opposed to that go to the adjacent corner and start preaching against that, or they start, the Church of Satan or whatever, and they start their thing. And it kind of creates a little bit of a buzz around there. The guy who is doing that is trying to create an emotion in everybody who is walking around. Now you have dueling preachers on these street corners. But that everybody walking around now has to pay attention. You are naturally, you are going to have a heightened awareness to confrontation as a human being, because that's innate in your psyche. And if two people are fucking going back at it, you kind of like lift your head up and like look around. Like if there's somebody yelling, like you hear somebody scream or yell, you kind of hear it. But if you hear two people yelling, you're drawn to that like a fucking fly to a fire or moth to a flame, whatever the fucking saying is, right?
Yeah.
Fly to fire sounds good. Fly. But when you have those two adjacent things, that person who came in there trying to fucking incite some sort of a frenzy, like that's the media. The media does that. And there are two people that disagree, but the media puts them on the same struck street corners.
Yeah.
And that's what they try and do. And everybody's just passing by, not really giving a shit, living their life. But all of a sudden, Instagram and fucking the media goes, okay, guess what? These things are a lot closer than you think they are. Really, they're not that close. But like this person disagrees with this person. Well, that's fucking life.
Yeah.
But when there's money to be made, well, guess what? Let's put them right next to each other and create a fucking issue. So everybody has to pick a side. And then when we get those people to pick a side, now we can get brand awareness on one side versus the other. And people on this side will fucking all be down with Nike because Nike fucking sides with Palestine. So we're going to fucking, or whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah.
Now if you fucking agree with, that's the shoe you need to have because those are the people we agree with. Like all of a sudden, all the marketing and shit goes into it. And now people are fucking choosing sides based on what the fuck their belief system is that was created by this narrative that didn't really fucking matter in the first place. Some dude just fucking felt in his moral compass, I should preach the word of God. So I'm going to fucking do that. And now I'm being used as this pawn in which to sell shit. And that's what people are doing to each other right now in the world. And that's what all these big, huge like everything really boils down to that. Even like, I think all the way down to like, in America anyway. I'm not going to talk about the shit across the other side of the world that I've never stepped on their dirt or have any fucking clue if that side of the world actually exists. I've never been there. I've never seen it. I don't know what it's about. But in America and how we fucking do things, that's what happens 100% of the time. People are fucking pitted against each other all the time to create a frenzy, to create a divide. And it's
called the demand.
Well,
that's what the frenzy is.
They create the demand.
The demand, the housing demand, the consumer demand. The water demand, the food demand.
But you know what I mean? Like, as far as, and it doesn't have to be God. It just has to be somebody with an ideal on one side. When normally people who resonate with that will be drawn to it. So they go towards it, but for whatever fucking reason, there is always somebody who wants to argue that. People want to fucking argue constantly. And it's like, hey, this guy wasn't fucking hurting anybody. He was just talking about what he thought was right. And now you're going to come and I hope people are like seeing the picture of what I'm trying to, like, it's making sense. Maybe it's not. You tell me, Mike. I can't tell.
It is.
But when you have those interactions and they're being like pushed up by all the media and all the fucking social medias that we have, like, people are way more at each other's throat than they really need to be or should be.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things that we could do in this world.
Yeah.
Like, why we fucking choose to fight with each other is fucking crazy. Because there's room for everybody to do what they want to do. And very rarely, very, very rarely is you doing whatever you want to do gonna fuck with what I want to do.
Yeah.
And that's what really pisses me off about all this woke shit, is that it's not about people like what I want to do and what you want to do. There's room for both of those things. So let's allow that to be the case. But people are getting off on stopping somebody from what they want to do. And they make it their mission. Like, that is their whole fucking goal, is to, like, put somebody's fire out. And they shouldn't. Like, that's the thing that fucking really grinds my gears. Is, like, go find something else that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Because your morals, and this, I guess this is part of the moral thing, right? Your morals are to attack somebody else for their beliefs. Fuck you. How about that? Well, you can't say America's great because that means you're racist and you're holding people down on their, because America's great for you because you're white, and it's not good for me because I'm this or I'm that, and, that's disenfranchising me and my people and how we are. And it's like, stop. America's good for everybody. America's good for the both of us. And if it's not good for you, sorry, but it's good for me. And let me just go about my business. But that's not how the fucking woke mob goes.
Yeah.
They want to fucking be confrontational.
It comes for everyone, though. When the guillotine is brought out, it comes for everyone. It just doesn't come for the person on the chopping block. It means it can eventually come for everybody. And that is the purpose of it.
Well,
I always leave this on a nice, lighthearted note, right?
The guillotine's coming for y'all.
Yeah.
Goodbye. I'm just kidding. Just fucking kidding. Wouldn't do that. How you feeling over there, Mike? You're fucking nodding off in that chair.
Yeah, well, 3 o'clock comes early in the mornings.
You're getting up at 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
Tomorrow on Thanksgiving?
No. I mean, today.
I got you.
Yeah.
It's been a long one for you.
It's been a long... Dude, I told you this 3 days felt like a full week.
Yeah. Fuck, right, dude.
I'm ready for 3 days off.
Yeah, that's going to be nice.
Yes.
Are you doing... So you're not taking Sunday off? Are you preaching?
I got to work one day. I got to work one day out of this. I just got too much going on. I got 2 jobs, buddy.
I know, that's fucking crazy.
It's all good.
I appreciate that, though. That's kind of fucking badass.
Why?
I mean, the fact that you're just grinding, right? Like, because I know coaching wrestling is not easy to do after a fucking day of work.
Oh, yeah, you're grinding, too. Everyone grinds. It's not like I'm the only one that does it at our place. Tobin's got his Train Northwest, and that, normal work and family. And
I would love to see that fucking thing take off, dude. This stupid podcast is... It keeps me sane, dude. It's fun. It is fun, and I hope people kind of like it. You know, it'd be fun to have a little bit more interaction with people who listen.
What if this? Imagine it doesn't take off for 5 more years. Say we get nothing out of this for 5 years. And then all of a sudden, or even 10 years, you know, and then it just takes off. Is it still worth it? And it's like, yeah, it kind of seems worth it just doing this. So then if you could throw money on top, it's only going to grow. You're not going to get less followers, technically.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. The reality of this is I get to hang out with you and Tobin, and I get to see what's going on in your guys' lives. I'm not a big reader. I'm not a big, like, political guy. I try and talk about that on this, and obviously people see through that fucking charade real easy, right? Like all the shit that I think about is completely different than you two. Like you guys have very interesting knowledge of like history and
just remember
geology and fucking rocks and fucking crazy shit. Like you guys, you two fucking guys had me fucked up. Because we started talking about something, and you're like, "Oh, it's the fucking pebbles that fucking weren't pebbles; they're giant. What do you call them? The fucking erratics, like these fucking school bus size rocks that are rolling through here and like doing all this shit." And it's like, you guys were having a circle jerk about that, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, the erratics, like wild shit." And I'm like, man, or like thinking like berserkers and like, what the fuck's an erratic? And then we go and saw it, and I saw it for the first time, and I took a picture of it, and you're like, you guys are changing me. But it's just knowledge that I didn't really give a shit about. And then when you guys bring it to me, because I care about you, I start to care about those things.
Yeah.
Right? And I start thinking about the things that you guys think about, because like, oh, I want to be able to like, I want to like
talk about it.
Well, not even talk about it, but just like relate. I want to relate to you guys in a way of which like puts me like at this weird space of like, okay, I don't necessarily care about this, but I care about you. So I want to know about it enough to where it's like, okay, hey, look at that rock over there. Goddamn erratic. That rock is an erratic, and my buddy Mike taught me about that. You know, so like, but at some point it's gonna fucking help me where I can be like, hey, yeah, if you look at this from a fucking the goddamn moon right now, and you're looking down on Earth, you can actually see the waves at which this fucking flood came through and moved these giant ass rocks, and that's why that bus-sized rock is in the middle of that field is because of that. And if you look above us, and people are like, holy shit, Jordan, you're a fucking genius, like. Yeah.
Yes, I was born this way.
Yeah, this is how this is the thing. I'm just talking about what I'm interested in. This is just things I like to think about.
When I dream, this is the things my mind thinks about.
But I mean, I'm so like the shit I like is not the same at all. But it is because I like to relate to you guys.
It's a far scope. I mean, everyone's got nuanced stuff that they find interesting. It's just one of many, you know, but there's certain things other people highlight more. It doesn't mean I don't have an appreciation for fucking bullet grain and grinding and knife skills and forging and sharpening a blade, or, you know, the skills for making a fire, to the things that are like, what are higher forms of government or religion or thinking. It's all the same thing. It's like, that's why it was like talking earlier. It's like, if we just talked about one thing, and it was like, yeah, maybe we would get a lot more listeners and we could get some extra money out of doing it. But that's not the point of it. The point of it is to touch all things, to become a well-rounded person. You don't like the way you're like, I want to talk about this because my friends are into it. Yes, that's good, but that's what life is having friends that elevate you or pull you into different directions. The point of this is to have a life that has from A to Z. You know, you're covering the full gambit of life and you're starting to understand how crazy nuts everything is and try and draw a picture. That's the true purpose, man. It doesn't matter if someone's better at one thing or another. What it is getting exposure as much as you can and trying to learn about all that and developing a philosophy around it.
So do you think that would be the ultimate, like, on your deathbed? Like, oh, I built a philosophy around life based on my experiences, or like...
No, because in the end, it's not going to matter, because whatever happens, it's going to happen. But in this time, to give you something that's attached to as much is like, you have to interact in this world around you, and you have to understand it somehow to like make a decent go of it.
Do you ever feel like I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of adventure. I feel like there's things that I'm drawn to.
I'm working just the same way you're working. What adventure am I not?
I'm talking like getting on a fucking boat and sailing across the fucking ocean. Jumping in a plane and landing up in the mountains and going on a fucking hike.
Cool. Say goodbye to your house. Say goodbye to your girlfriend.
All of it, right? Like all of it.
All that.
But like, I mean, is that a thing we could do? Can we have both?
Depends on your personality.
Like, you know,
you can't. It's hard to have both unless you make very good money.
And then on the other side of it, that person might be going, man, it'd be nice to fucking have a place to
settle down and have a little lady and give my dick suck. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's called, I mean, stability.
Yeah. Getting your dick sucked. Yeah. It's called stability.
I mean, why do you think it works so hard?
Yeah. Build a foundation.
Yeah.
That's why we do it, folks.
Yeah.
That's why, I mean, let's be honest, everybody's working for that.
Yeah. That's what resources are as a man is, you know, stability. Yeah. Stability, money, opportunity, fun.
Fucking. Yeah. But that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
And we all know it.
Yeah.
The guy who built this microphone did it for a reason.
Dude,
He was like, because at some point...
Before this microphone, 0 dick sucks. After this microphone, all the dick sucks. Yeah,
exactly. He was like, once I get the stability, then I get the pussy.
Yeah. But that's how it goes. Isn't it... Do you think... Oh, what's that movie that came out recently? Oppenheimer. But like the guy that invented...
I haven't seen it.
I haven't either, but I know the backstory. But the guy that invented the nuclear bomb, you know, it's like, it is really cool.
Do you know what the front story is, though?
What?
To Oppenheimer?
Well...
You know, the backstory. Nobody ever talks about the front story.
I didn't know if there was a real thing here. I'm like, wait, is there something I didn't know about this?
No, I'm just saying. Like,
I got you.
The backstory, front story, I don't understand it.
I'm slow.
So am I. So, anyway, Oppenheimer, backstory.
But it's like you invented something that was incredible. You know, like you split the goddamn atom, but at what cost? Killed a bunch of people. It's like, yeah, you invented something cool, but it destroyed. And is
Did he
it
get
like
dick sucks for it?
yeah, and that's what it's like. Yeah, are they good dick sucks?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, because at some point, you're willing to put your dick sucks in front of other people's dick sucks.
Yeah,
and that's what he did. He was like, me more important than you,
more than the Japanese, though.
But did he know what he was doing?
Isn't it weird?
Did he know that, like, I'm building a bomb
to
destroy people?
Yeah. He did.
Well, then fucking, Oppenheimer.
I mean, that's
my moral obligation.
That's some BDE, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest dick.
Yeah, he goes.
But isn't it weird, like, everyone thought, like, Hitler was a reincarnation of the devil, and, like, he was going to destroy everything.
Did they think that during or after?
During.
But what about, then why did nobody stop him?
Oh, I mean, well, it took us a little bit to join the war. I mean, what did they?
But why did in Germany? Why did they allow him if everybody thought that was the case?
No, Germans thought he was great.
Well, there you go.
I mean, Americans, Americans and Europeans and French and
I'm sure there
Polish.
were some Americans that were like,
this guy's got it figured out.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, it was definitely not a fucking favored opinion.
Yeah. No. What, killed the Jews? I don't think he said killed the Jews back then. It was just like this guy was kind of a globalist, and he was he was a nationalist for
how long was he around before all of a sudden, like,
he served in World War I. He got injured pretty bad, and then he felt like many Germans that Germany was disenfranchised by World War I after how they were treated by other countries. And he started to form with it, like, there's all these other political parties, communists, Bolsheviks, you have all these other different political parties. And then Hitler kind of like sidled up, it seemed like, with a bunch of people and had, burning of the Reichsburg, or like these false flag things. And he just kept seeming to be at the right place at the right time, and had like kind of a nice cadence. He could speak well, and he just kept
for not knowing German.
Yeah,
I would say he could speak well.
Yeah, but you watch a lot of those videos too, and he is fucking gacked out, dude.
Yeah, dude, he's fucking
That's a
on
dude
like
on
a
meth.
level disco.
But he's on meth.
But on meth, like, he's over there smoking meth, or is he taking Adderall?
Like meth.
Like smoking meth.
So the Nazis invented methamphetamines and steroids at the same time. Why do you think they marched from, like, Germany to France in, like, what was like a 4-day train ride? They're like, dude, we marched it in 2 days. Like, the British were like, how'd all these Germans get here? And it was like, dude, they were methed out and they were steroid out. But that was, German. And, Hugo Boss invented the uniform.
The suit, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like,
and Volkswagen bugs
for Hill,
solid
dude.
Vehicle.
BMW. There's a lot.
Porsche.
Yeah, Porsche. There's a lot of great engineering in it. It's like,
meth does some wonderful things. Apparently.
I mean, they had they had performance enhancement in every way, but their ideology was fucked.
What
to blame one creed of person as this only thing?
But I guess,
isn't it weird it's coming back right now?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, and how was that? Because there's a lot of people buying off on certain things and I don't know enough about it. I'll be honest with you. I don't follow it.
It's fucked on both sides. I'll tell you. Just like any war, it's fucked on both sides. The Israeli side has done a lot. I mean, having a state in which, I get it. It's all from the Bible and religious texts from thousands of years ago. Don't fucking care. It's too long ago. But then it's like you drop a group of people into another region that's had only one form of people, and it's like, yes, there's going to be division. And problems have been had on both sides.
So what do you do about it? Do you let them hash it out? Do you say, all right, here's the guy. We want your best fighter and our best fighter. They're going to meet in the middle of this field.
Like Troy,
dude.
Yeah.
The winner fucking stays. And there's going to be a little guy, and he's going to go, I wouldn't want to fight him. And then the guy's going to look down at him and go, that's where no one will remember you. And he runs out there and stabs the other guy in the neck.
Well, do you remember back to Mike Zedong?
Parts and bits and pieces.
Bits and pieces. Well, part of Mike Zedong is kind of like, hey, man, I mean, give honor to where you're from and what your people are, because you are a human being and a person of earth. And it's like, yeah, you grew up and you have uniqueness to you. But to think that the fact that one religion or this one is what makes you special or over something better than this other person, that's where we get into problems. If you have a one world government of the people where it doesn't matter what your religion is, it matters just you're a person, I think these are the things that we fight over tribalism over the past. I mean, this is just a current representation. I mean, I don't know. I mean, have you ever been with someone and they're like, hey, that guy's black, let's go fucking beat him up? Or this person's Asian, look at their yellow skin, let's go fucking throw white paint on them. It's like, I've never heard any of my friends or known anyone that's been like that, or known a boss that's like, I'm not going to hire this guy.
We'll say this.
But they want you to think it.
I have been in situations where I go, like, one time I walk into a bar. I'm down in, like, where was I? Like, Renton, and me and I was with two buddies. It was the three of us. And we had just walked out of a comedy show, and we were like, one of my buddies goes, oh, there's a bar right down here. Let's go to it. We walk in. We are the only white people in this bar, and it is fucking full house. And it was like, holy shit. Like, this feels fucking awkward. Like, we are not supposed to be here. In that moment, it's like, all right, well, let's just fucking obviously drink a couple beers and then we'll get the fuck out of here. But when you really, like, in that moment, and sure, not everybody's on the same fucking level. The energy might be different, and the energy might be wrong. Because if I walk into a place like that, and I go, hey, fact of the matter is, everybody here morally is the same. I want you to be happy, and I want you to have your kids be happy, and I want you to be fed and you to be safe. You want your mom to be cool, right? You want your dad to be happy, right? I do too. We're the fucking same person. We're the same people. So everything else beyond that, let's agree that, like, at our core, we are the same. And now let's learn about each other. To have that fucking mindset and go into a place like that, like, it's a good thought.
It's too much to think.
You still might get your ass beat in a fucking spot where you shouldn't be. But the fact of the matter is like, if you could approach certain situations with that mindset of like, hey, you just want the best for the people you care about, and I do too. Now let's talk. And let's remember that is a tether of where we can always go back to. Because I want to be happy. I want you to be happy. And I want my family to be set.
Yeah.
And my family being set doesn't mean your family's not. But in certain places where just the bullshit where you need resources and resources are limited.
Third world countries.
Anyway, it's not third world countries. Fucking certain towns in Washington.
Detroit. Yeah.
Towns in Washington.
Yeah.
Like there are places where like there are resources that are limited, and that means my family and your family are. If I want my family to be okay, that means your family's not going to be okay, because this is the water we got to drink.
Yeah.
Luckily, we are not there. But I imagine there's some places in the world where that's the fucking reality. And that is where where shit gets a little fucking dicey.
But that's human survival throughout the years.
Yeah, but we're not there.
We are not, but that's what survival has been.
And I don't think we live there, and I don't think there's a lot of fucking places where rain happens. We're not fucking worried about water, necessarily.
Not here.
Right? But there's fucking deserts.
Oh, yeah.
Where motherfuckers are worried about water.
Yeah. Africa.
100%. So guess what?
California.
If my family's going to be okay, that means your family's not. And I'm willing to kill you over it. And that's where fucking problems come in.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's a resource thing.
That's what I mean. And that's the thing. It's like in places where we live, I can't speak to what it's like to go to a fucking place and have to argue over resources. But I'll tell you what, when that's in your fucking DNA, which is in all of our DNA, that's where the fucking problem comes in. But we're so fucking lucky here in the U.S. and other places where we don't have to worry about that. But we hold on to it in our fucking hearts. And that's just passed down the fucking lineage. It's like, hey, guys, calm down. We're going to live just fine. So right now, let's just fucking let people do what they're going to do and make the jokes they're going to make and fucking move on. Because we don't have to give our energy to that. And you know what? Yeah. Fucking whatever that Matt fucking dude made a fucking sexist joke. Let him make his joke. Move on. You didn't like it. Not for you. Somebody got a fucking kick out of it. You didn't. Obviously, walk away. But we're not fucking fighting over resources.
Yeah.
And the fucking wokeism's fucking gotten so far away from fighting over resources where it's like, take a step back, take a breath, understand you're not going to die over this, and move on.
Yeah.
There are places in the world where they have to fucking kill you over eating food. We're not there. Stop it. We've won. We have won. And if you fucking keep this shit up, we won't win. We're going to go right back to that. You're going to find out how fucking ridiculous you are. And I think that's where a lot of people from my point of view come from. It's like, you guys are fucking ridiculous. You're arguing over, or you're saying shit that doesn't fucking matter, because the fact of the matter is things could be a lot fucking worse. And you're lucky to be where you're at.
Yeah.
So when we have such a opportunity and it's being squandered because people are fucking wanting to argue, it's like, stop. Just stop. Let's just fucking have a good time and realize you're in a fucking superior position than everybody else in the fucking world.
But have we ever stopped arguing?
No, and we don't. What we need to do is understand. And we don't need to stop arguing. What we need to do is understand is like, you're giving your fucking energy to something that doesn't. If you want to argue, fucking argue. Do it. If that's what you need to fucking feel. Do it. But understand, you're not going to die over it.
Yeah.
Until you make it a fucking issue. Then you're going to fucking die over it. But you're not dying because of the resources.
Yeah.
That's the fucking real issue to die. That's the real time to fight.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know if anyone sees it like that, though.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, we have so much that we could do in this fucking world, dude. We have so much we could do. And so much of the time people get wrapped up in stuff that's meaningless. And that's what that's why I think I like to go back to simpler things in my mind and my heart and like my soul of just like, hey, I want a sharp fucking object and meat and trees and water.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Then it's simple to see the fucking reality of life. What it takes to survive.
Maybe we just need something big to pull us all together. Maybe that is the point of having these big things like a Revolutionary War, a Civil War, a World War I, a World War II, getting behind a Super Bowl. What are all these things? They pull us all together for a common unity.
Well, and that's part of the reason why I don't like the thought of a one world government. Right? Is because we do need competition.
No.
Because competition is what makes the fucking world work.
I think you could still get competition. I just mean one world government in the way that it's decentralized by every person being involved as a small entity of it.
I wish the world was full of little villages all over.
Yeah. And
I would agree with that.
If everyone in that village could vote.
But it wasn't no one world government.
But that's the government is the mass vote of the people.
It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be a mass. It would be fucking hundreds. Hundreds of people would vote for their leader. And their leader would consist of no tribe bigger than 1,000 people. All of a sudden, guess what's going to happen? Yeah. That 1,000 people are going to turn into 2,000 people, 3,000 people, 4,000 people. And if everybody else isn't going to fucking build their tribe and get it bigger,
but I want the government to be open forum where anyone can put in bills, proposals, ideas, initiatives, and even bills get voted on by like mass vote. It's not like
I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
I think it's at the unmolested level of like, we're not, if it worked out and it's pure, then that's fucking 100%.
It'd work perfect if it wasn't open for fuckery.
Yeah, and there's way too much opportunity for fuckery in that.
There's some fuckery.
We're already fucking, as a country, there's too much opportunity for fuckery. Right? And that's where
I think because we still do mail-in ballots and written ballots.
I think you should have to show up with a fucking knife and cut your goddamn hand.
I think you get better accountability through your phone, dude, than you do by someone saying, oh, here's a hand signature and I'm going to count this vote. I don't know.
But that's if you put something on a phone, do you not think that somebody's better at computers than you, that they could just go,
but also there's something called the open source where you can see what everything's kind of happened and you can go through the data.
You know what I think is if we started all talking about what we really fucking thought, then we wouldn't have to fucking worry about it. And we could look around and go, hey, guess what? I voted for fucking Trump. Who'd you vote for? Oh, I can't believe you voted for Trump. Well, I did. Who'd you vote for? Oh, I voted for Biden. Okay, well, there's 2 and 1 and 1. And who'd you vote for? But you can't fucking say that. Because it's like, oh, I'm offended this motherfucker voted for Trump. But hey, guys, guess what? Hey, I just want your family to be good. I want my family to be good, and I think this is what will make my family be good.
Yeah.
That's just what I think. Well, I think you're hurting my family. Well, I disagree. But we're not fighting over water, are we? Until we start fighting over fucking water, let's just chill. And can you fucking pull that cable for me? Because we got to get this fucking thing done. We're getting the job done.
Yeah.
You know, like.
That was a weird thing about the election is I saw no Biden Kamala stickers. And it's like, I work all over Western Washington. You go Eastern Washington, it's all Trump. But you go Western Washington, and it's like, all right, we're supposed to be more blue.
You saw no Biden stickers? I mean, like, fuck ton.
In your front yard, people, there were a couple, but to the overwhelming amount of Trump, and maybe that's just the audacious factor of a Trump supporter is I want to be loud and out front, but
that's not true.
I think
the vast majority of Trump supporters, I think the vast majority are fucking nervous about getting their shit fucked up.
Probably. But even then, I saw so many more Trump signs than I did Biden stuff, and it was so weird. Kind of just like like you're saying, like, just be honest. Who did you vote for? Who did you vote for? Oh, I'm kind of taking a natural tally. And it's like, if I looked at the environment around me at that 2020 election, it was like, dude, there was Trump. What was it? The red wave's coming, the red wave. Mm-hmm. And it's not like I'm a Republican or a Democrat. I could care less. I think both parties are fucked. But it was very unique hearing all those things and seeing so many like visual aids for Trump. And then it's like, nope, Biden won. It's like, what? Didn't make sense.
Yeah. I still don't think that all fucking, I don't trust the fucking government because I don't trust we can get past where we're at with.
I think Biden won fair and square, but I think
you're a wild boy.
I think you won due to ballot harvesting, gerrymandering, like all the things that you can do to make things happen quicker for your vote. Like you can get certain people. Ballot harvesting seems to be the biggest one. And you get people that wouldn't normally vote, and you go there and you sign them up, and you can kind of influence them and get them to vote with others around them. Instead of people going to a physical location or
using voter ID and
ID.
Or not voter ID, but just fucking ID. You get pulled over. What's the cop ask for? ID. What happens if you don't give them ID?
You get arrested, technically.
Really?
Or detained.
Well, fucking A.
But
better have that fucking ID, I guess.
Get arrested at the voting station.
You know what I mean? Like at some point, like we go back and forth, right? But guess what? Hey, brother. We're not fighting over water. It's all good.
It's all good.
Like, and we can sit down and we can disagree on shit and like that. God, we live in such a fucking great place to be able to fucking truly fucking think about that. How fucking beautiful is that? The thing is, like, when my rights get taken away, or I feel like my rights are getting taken away of like what I believe this country should be, I start getting upset. Right? Like my gun rights, I believe in my gun rights and I'm going to fucking abide by those gun rights. When they want to take them away from me, I think that's fucked. I got problems with it. I think that that's why our country is the way it is. And I think we have the First Amendment and the Second Amendment. I don't even know what the fucking Third Amendment is, I'll be honest with you. What is it? Not important enough to fucking remember is what? Right? So
freedom of the press is the third one.
Is it?
Free speech, Second Amendment, right to bear arms.
Freedom of press is First Amendment, right?
No, freedom of speech
is First Amendment.
Yeah, but I thought something had to do. I don't know. That's
how fucked is that?
That's
how fucked is that?
I know nothing.
So, I mean, somebody's probably like, "You fucking idiots!" I'm hanging up right now.
Everyone's saying "you fucking idiots" most of our podcasts. Hey. A lot of heart, no facts.
Welcome to the Enlightened Neanderthals. Wasn't my idea for the name. But the Neanderthal part is fucking running strong. But we do have, like, I don't want to give up my fucking guns. Matter of fact, I'm pissed off that I can't
ordering a soldier in private homes.
I'm sorry?
Third Amendment. Quartering of soldier in a private home. That's what it is.
What does that mean?
So that means if a foreign body invades, or how does that go? You can't allow soldiers to sleep in private citizens' homes. Third Amendment to the United States Constitution places restrictions on the quartering of soldiers in private homes without the owner's consent, forbidding the practice in peacetime and in war. It's kind of during the Revolutionary War.
Well, guess fucking what?
I thought it was a freedom of press thing.
Well, it's not. don't come to my house for a nap, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Unless I allow you, get the fuck out. And that's basically what that's saying is my home is not for government to fucking take. My home is for me, and that's it. Not for the government to fucking abide. Do whatever the fuck they want.
Proxy wars.
Yeah, and we're not doing it. So that's fucking beautiful. Like, God damn it. I wish I would have known it before and didn't seem like such a dumbass. But the fact of the matter is, everybody listening to us fucking agrees with it. We got a lot of mullets fucking shaking right now going, you goddamn right. You goddamn right. You ain't going to come to my house and fucking set up shop. And I appreciate that.
All right, how about this? It's getting late. Your boy needs to take a nap. It's Thanksgiving tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving to all our fans. Happy Thanksgiving,
yeah.
Yeah, to all our loyal listeners throughout the year that have followed with us.
You guys are waking up. It's Thanksgiving hangover. You might be listening to this. You know, you've been fucking main veining gravy.
Gobbling it.
And we appreciate you, you know.
What do you think our fans should be called? Hang on, let's grab one more beer. I'll post up I'll D up the question, and I want you to run around and do a post route. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna run a button hook right here.
The old button hook. So everyone's got like their like Green Bay's fans are the cheeseheads. You know,
which never made sense to me.
Yeah, well,
Wisconsin cheese.
Yeah, so you're a cheesehead. Yeah. What are the Enlightened Neanderthals fans' name? What should our followers be?
Fuck, dude.
That's a good thinker.
Yeah, the earplugs. They probably shouldn't be listening to this shit.
The earplugs is the name of our fans.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. I think we're lucky to have fucking the listeners we have. So thank you guys. I'm gonna give thanks. It's Thanksgiving. I'm feeling thankful. But I don't know. Anything to do with the Neanderthals and all that, I feel just kind of silly about. And certainly not enlightened from this. So if this is your source of fucking news, guess what, friend? You're doing just fine.
Don't you look at what it says our podcast is? It says it's cultural.
Well, of course it's cultural.
Doesn't say news.
I got a question for you. Cultural appropriation.
You want to start doing some?
Yeah, well, cultural appropriation versus when you fall in line with a fucking culture. What's that called? When I'm
adopting their ways or
something.
But
there's a
But everything's cultural appropriation.
Yeah, but there's cultural appropriation, but then what's the opposite?
Italians took noodles from the Chinese.
What's the opposite of that?
Like stealing it?
No, when not stealing it, when you're like
enforcing your culture upon another culture.
Stop. When you go to a place
what are you doing?
And when they're like, oh, the Americans come here and they don't assimilate. So when are you supposed to assimilate? And when are you supposed to have cultural appropriation? Or I guess you're never supposed to have cultural appropriation, but at what point am I supposed to assimilate then?
Yeah, but assimilation doesn't happen. Look at what's happening in New York with Jimmy the Mexican immigrants that they've been busing up there, and it's destroying the cities. And I'm not saying because of the people, it's just you're flooding an area with a group that's not homogenized to the environment that they're going to.
Are you saying
this has happened
in cold?
Germany? Yeah, probably too cold. Not enough vitamin D.
Not giving jackets.
This happened in Germany with Muslim. Wasn't it Muslims in the past?
We're going down. Cultural appropriation versus assimilating. When do you assimilate, and when is that when you're supposed to? If me and you go on vacation to Italy, we're supposed to assimilate, right? We're not supposed to act like Americans because that's fucking rude, apparently.
Yeah, you're trying to fit in.
Okay, Well, then when the fuck are people going to assimilate to American culture versus keep their culture? And then when we adopt part of their culture, now we're fucking culture vultures. And of course it is. And that's why America's the greatest goddamn country ever.
So you have to take in everyone's culture as being your culture.
And
it's not like
exactly. And we're being fucking told we're cultural appropriation. It's like, well, motherfuckers, stop. Don't cultural appropriate. It was like, well, I'm assimilating, but not appropriating.
No, you want to culturally appropriate. You want to take everyone's culture.
But they say we're not supposed to.
Yeah, but those people are idiots that never have thought about this. You want to take everyone's culture. You don't get Italian food without the Chinese, right? You don't get Mexican food without having
boats to get to America.
Yeah, right? So everything's built off of one another. It's the exchange. Like, look at South American food and what it is due to slave trade, Asian trade, all kinds of stuff like that. I mean, what creates things is
Are you saying
meshing.
Are you saying the slave trade was worth those spices?
No, but it creates, well, maybe.
Depends. Easy, you son of a bitch.
But it's like also, maybe it has to happen. There are going to be ruthless people. Maybe it wasn't black people. What if it was Irish people? And instead of black people saying like, oh, I was fucking held down by the man, what if it's Irish people being like, I was held down by the man? You know? That was a bad Irish accent.
I saw where you were going.
Yeah. But, like, it could have been any of it. It just happened to be that black people were the one that were targeted on that. It could have been Indian people. And maybe black people never... Maybe most black people stayed in Africa and they never traveled throughout the world or, like, you know... I'm not saying it's good or it's bad. I'm just saying that is what happened. What if it was one parallel off, you know?
Mm-hmm.
No. Appropriation.
I think most black people stayed in Africa, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was a very select few. But, I mean, to spread lineage throughout the world, I mean, you have... way more black people because of slave trade throughout the world than you would if there wasn't slave trade. Yeah. Now, what if slave trade happened in India more? You know, a
lot more Indians throughout the world.
Even more, yeah. And what if it was instead it was Irish? You know, what if it was different? Who knows what culture? It happened to land on those ones due to philosophy of, like, people are worthless due to the skin pigment.
Yeah, but I don't think that had anything to do with it. Maybe it did. Maybe people were like, oh, they're darker, so they're worthless. That's fucking wild to me.
That was it.
Because it seems like that's a better thing to have. But, I think it maybe had to do. Do you think that was really what it was? Versus, hey, these are people we can get right now for this much. I think it had anything to do because Irish were enslaved, right?
By the English,
but they're both white.
Yeah. Well,
but it was red. The people they could get. Right?
One's red.
It was the people that they could get at the time to do the work
by proximity. But also proximity and
it's just
what their value is in society due to money. Like how much...
What do you think that was like?
What, being Catholic Protestant?
No.
Like
going way back. Like, and maybe this is insensitive to fucking think about or talk about. But
yeah, fine. Who cares?
To go back to whoever the fuck thought like, hey, you know what? I need... work done, because that's really what it was about. People were looked at as machinery. They were like, I need work done, period.
Yeah.
That's it. The Egyptians, I need work done, and you are going to do the work, or what? I'll kill you, or you won't eat, or basically I'll kill you. Physical punishment is your fucking, that it's that, or you're going to do what I need you to do. And I'm going to pay these people to allow me to fucking do that? Like, could people be put under, like, could you take anybody from America today and make them a slave? And the thought of, like, I'm going to, over physical harm or bodily harm or fucking not being able to eat, and we're going to fucking create, we need you to do the work that we need to do.
Yeah, but also the government.
Or is that what's happening right now? Because everybody's always like, oh, America, like, people in America are slaves right now. Because they're doing work, and if they don't do the work, they're not going to eat.
Yeah, but back then, the slave could be physically oppressed. You can't do that now the same way that we're slaves.
Right?
We're slaves monetarily. We're slaves with our time. We're slaves with our emotion.
But not the same by any fucking means. And that's what I have a fucking kind of an issue with when people say that.
Yeah. Well, that's like, when someone says,
we ain't the fucking same, motherfucker.
Well, that's when someone says, like, you're a Nazi. You're like, listen, man, be careful the way you use those words, because what those words have are very big impact. And when you use it just to say someone's bad, you're crying wolf. So when the time comes in this world that a wolf really emerges and you cry wolf, you're not going to get the response that you want when there truly is a wolf, because you've been crying this the whole time. So you really need to choose your words carefully, because the words you're saying are very delicate.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
And they should have an impact.
I think I learned everything I needed to at the like age of fucking 10. I truly do. I think as far as my moral compass goes, and like how to treat people and how to be treated and how to interact with the world, I think I fucking learned it by fucking 10 years old. I think there's certainly like times and places I could have been taken advantage of, or like led down the wrong along a bad road.
Yeah.
But what you just said, that is a fucking a child's fucking tale, right?
Yeah.
The boy who cried wolf.
No, it's true.
Like all those stories we were taught as young kids, and I hope they're being fucking taught to kids these days and like said the same way, because it rings so fucking true to reality, and it cuts through all the bullshit. And it's like, well, what more do you need to know? I mean, realistically, like there's so many like child fucking. We should do a podcast on that. Just fucking children sayings that fucking ring true and need to be brought back and fucking really thought about, because so much of those things, like so many of those little like fables or fucking stories are ring true to this day, and we kind of forget about them, and we kind of forget the feeling we had in our heart the first time we heard them.
Yeah.
And if we fucking thought about the feeling we had in our heart the first time we heard them, maybe we'd be better people right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It just seems abstract because you're how many generations removed. But what they're using is like, oh, I don't live in the woods anymore. I live in the city. But even though I live in the woods, I still have people that try and dictate or take advantage. And so, like, the wolf in the grandma's clothing can be anything. Mm-hmm. That can be a metaphor, you know? Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And that's all taught at a fucking young age. And it's taught in a metaphor to understand as a young person. So, I think I knew everything goddamn that I know about now.
It's taught to forgot.
I quit learning by the time I was 10.
I quit learning hours ago.
But anyway, well, guys, I think we're going to fucking wrap it up It's about 2 hours in, a little less.
Jordan Mike's secret podcast.
Yeah.
Jordan Mike's secret stash.
Oh, shit.
I like that.
Tobin's learning about his sexuality right now.
How many fingers up his butt truly makes him sleep well at night?
He's trying to figure it out.
I say 5.
Yeah, he says, yeah. Yeah. It takes more than one hand, I'll tell you that. Anyway, guys.
Give this guy a hand.
Have a good one.